Is there joy in gay sex after a certain age?
Well, I met a very nice Toronto boy last night with long hair and 24 years old, and he was very nice.
Hi, this is Frank Prendergast for Daily Extra with author Edmund White. Thank you very much for being with us.
Happy to be here.
Your 5 most scandalous sexual adventures.
Wow. I don't know if that can be talked about on TV.
Oh, come on. Most famous person, maybe.
Well, I lived with a very beautiful boy in the 70s called Keith McDermott, who was the actor in Equus, the young boy in Equus who was naked 8 performances a week. And he did the show with Richard Burton and other people. He had an affair with Tab Hunter, and who was always at our house. So that was a sort of a brush with fame.
Right. There's many more names
Uh-huh.
in this book. It's a fabulous book, Inside a Pearl. It's your memoir of your years in Paris, which I believe started in 1983.
It went on for 15 years.
Yeah. Why are you writing this memoir now?
No? Well, I guess it was the next thing to write. People seem to like to read about Paris, and I lived there so many years, and I met a lot of celebrities, and this book is accused of name dropping, so if you don't like name dropping, don't read it.
You met incredibly famous people there, Yves Saint Laurent and etc.
Catherine Deneuve.
Yeah, you're of the elite, but at the same time you're, I don't know what the word would be, you were loose, sexually adventurous, you would,
promiscuous.
Promiscuous, there, but you're promiscuous. They kind of seem at odds with each other. Do they seem at odds?
Not to me, but I guess, in France, everybody, the higher you move in society, the more people talk about sex, which is the opposite of America. In America, so-called upper middle class people are very prudish, and they say that in America, everybody talks about money, so they won't have to talk about sex. And in France, everybody talks about sex, so they won't have to talk about money.
We're talking about sex, and of course, from many years ago, the joy of gay sex. You're a little bit older now. Is there joy in gay sex after, I guess, I I didn't know you were 74, but is there joy in gay sex? Does it continue, or what's?
Well, I met a very nice Toronto boy last night with long hair and 24 years old, and he was very nice, and it was very joyful.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Has it changed, like sex, the joy of sex after a certain age?
Well, you have to find, luckily we live in the age of internet, and so you have to find websites where the young people want to meet. There are a few who want to meet old people, and vice versa. Things like Silver Daddies, Daddy Hunt. There are all these different websites where young people actually seek out older people, and older people actually seek out younger people, and not for money, but just for fun.
What are they looking for? The younger, and then
I don't know. Oftentimes they have a complicated family history in terms of with their own fathers, and maybe they want a kind father rather than a mean father, or some of their earliest experiences that marked them and shaped their tastes were with older men. I don't know, not too many people seem to be actually using the older people. You would think that it would be like a Balzac novel where the young man was trying to get something from the older man, but it's not often, at least in my experience. I don't meet people who are writers or interested in writing or who even know who I am.
Right. But you don't, you would think somebody of your stature, it would almost feel like slumming it, but it doesn't come across that way when you describe it. You don't see it as...
No, my main emotion in sex is gratitude. I always feel grateful to my partner even when I was young, I felt that way, and I never looked down on them.
Yeah. It's interesting because you do have a bit of a history with younger men, and that as well, men that you have been able to support in a way, because that dynamic worked for you because it gave you a bit of control.
You could say that.
Why is that important for you?
You're oftentimes attracted to people who are somewhat younger, not only because they're more beautiful, but because they're not so formed as characters. I mean, in other words, if one old man takes up with another old man, they each have 85 friends, 35 relatives, 152 memories, and 3 houses. And how are you going to merge all that? Whereas a younger person oftentimes is less formed, less set in his ways, and more accommodating.
So tonight, is it the opera or the bathhouse? Or?
Tonight is, I have to wear a black tie and go to this banquet. And Patricia Nell Warren, who wrote The Front Runner, is being honored too.
Yeah, maybe there'll be some young men there that you can romance.
Probably not.
Well, Edmund White, thank you very much for speaking with us.
It was a pleasure.